Some, if not all of us, have at least one game. One game that shaped our personality or made us question our own morality. For some, that may be Nier Automata for its gripping story and amazing storytelling. For other people, it may be any Persona game for its relationships to the player. There are games that move us so much that they've changed us as a person. This video is not about those games. Don't worry, Nier Automata is still a main topic of this video, I didn't clickbait you. What I'm going to talk about could possibly be more interesting than that. There are games that change you, and there are games that change your life. I want to differentiate those two terms, because it's kinda important if you want to know what I'm specifically going to talk about. While 13 Sentinel's story is told through a special story structure, it doesn't change your life. But that one game you played that day that didn't seem that special may have triggered something inside your brain. If they're good games or not, if they're critically acclaimed or not, if their moral message is profound or not, that does not always correlate to games that change the course of your life. All it needs to do is knock over that small domino. Now, games can go in both of these categories. They're not bound to only one or the other, and they're completely personal. 13 Sentinels might have gotten you interested in more tactical games, shaping the games that you play for the rest of your life. Or Nier Automata... Oh yeah, they promised you that. Let's get into it. Nier Automata is one of my life-changing games. I was walking through one of the stores in our city, browsing through the manga like I usually do, but then a realization that I have no explanation for hits me. Let's go look at the Switch games. Again, I want you to imagine how unlikely this is. I was there for a whole different reason looking for manga, doing something that I had way too low of a reason to do, since the only Switch that I had back then was broken and could only play games on a TV or monitor. However, when I looked, Nier was, for some reason, the one and only game that caught my eye. Again, I don't know why. The only knowledge I had about it was just that I've heard the name. That's it. That was the first game that I bought with my own money. And god, do I have something to tell you. The character writing is incredible. I get why 2B is the best, although A2 is also very underrated. I played through the A ending, thinking that there would be a B and C ending for the sides of 9S and A2 respectively. However, I was terribly wrong. Only months later, I finally completed the B ending and... won't spoil any further. It's a game that even to this day I refuse to replay or engage in the community for even a moment. Just so on the 28th of August, 1 year from the day that I completed it, I can experience it as close as possible for the first time again. That's how much I actually love this game. And when I completed the game, I realized something. I like stories. Crazy revelation, I know, but before this, the only most story-driven game that I have ever played was probably Skylanders. Yeah, I wonder why I had that revelation. The drive to experience more of this is what led me to play more and enjoy more games. Some games that came out of that revelation were games like Persona 5, 13 Sentinels, Hades, Valhalla, all games that I hold very, very close to my heart and enjoyed more than any live service game ever could. Now, although Valhalla is technically the first visual novel I've ever played, if you don't count Pokemon, there's always been one other visual novel that did change me. Kato Shoujo, although a simple visual novel with a very improbable and sometimes questionable development, is a life-changing game. Initially, I saw the Gigguk video on the game, and I had no intention of playing it. Then a friend forced me to play it. Eventually, not really that long after, I folded. Most people, including me, thought that this would be a very short game, only a couple hours long. So then imagine my shock when I realized that I accidentally got the meme ending and realized that it was only the first chapter. The first chapter is the absolute most crucial part of the game. and although I wasn't planning on spending as much time as I needed to, I did. And I'm glad it went that way. The payoff was worth it, and I almost cried at multiple scenes, and I don't want to talk about it or I'll cry right now. I hope that Emmy and Rin are happy in every universe. I felt that it changed me, and I've been looking for a visual novel that can hit me as hard as it did. It reinforced that feeling that I got from Nier, but trajected me into more specific rabbit hole of anime games. Although I haven't found anything as special as Katsura Shoujo, I've gotten close with games like Danganronpa or Aokana, but it hasn't managed to scratch that same itch. Now, let's address the millions of damage per second elephant in the room. And the one game that I didn't want to put in this thumbnail, Genshin Impact. Now, I'm not gonna discuss if the game is good or not because I still need to sort out my feelings about it. However, what I will talk about is going to be my personal experiences with the game. The day is the 29th of December. I just started to play the game a bit on my phone, and I decided, with my newly bought PC, I could download Genshin and stream it as my second game ever. As a second stream ever, it did quite well. So I did it again, and it did really well. After this point, whenever I streamed another game, it would tank. But Genshin, that always did well. Always did good. And then I had my first video surpass 10,000 views. This video alone got me almost halfway towards monetization. Together with the shorts that I made at the time, I could reach monetization very, very quickly. And then it stopped. I don't know if it was my increasingly more inconsistent schedule, or what some people have called the algorithm. All I knew was that the channel stopped. Now, directly or indirectly, Genshin pushed a domino that wasn't going to end just yet. It drew me closer and closer to another game, Honkai Star Rail, and that led to an even bigger spike that I still to this day haven't been able to top. Indirectly, Genshin managed to move this channel to a point that I didn't ever expect I would be able to pull off in a year. And it changed my life. Now, today, you can't find these videos regularly. They're unlisted. But if you really want, there is a playlist with every single stream, short, and video that I unlisted. What I do now is completely different, and I don't want people to mistake what I do here now. It's been a year since I started this channel, and while this video was meant to be a reflection on the year, I kept making it more and more. So thanks for watching this last year. From now on, I'll be keeping track of the games that I play, and in a year's time, I'll tell you about the games that will change my life. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you become a supporter, you can vote on polls, get weekly updates, and have your name at the end of videos like this. I made it so it's less than the price of a 4-piece chicken nuggets, so please consider supporting, and I'll see you next time.